Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's wrong with me? Good morning if you're in another country. Good evening if you're in the United States of America. What's wrong with me? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, a wonderful person who watches this channel. A happy birthday to Ramla Farah. I believe I read in one of your messages on the comments section that it's your birthday. Happy birthday, and thank you always for your support and kind words. Happy birthday, Ramla. Thank you so very much for always watching. And ladies and gentlemen, we have great news. Rod Rosenstein is leaving the Justice Department. Thank the good Lord above. This is fantastic news. Why is it amazing news? Well, Rod Rosenstein began the Mueller probe. He's the one who Sessions hired, and Trump clowned Sessions yet again. He's the one who who Sessions hired to be Deputy Attorney General, thus creating a series of unfortunate events for the country. When President Trump did what he was supposed to do, James Comey had absolutely no right to circumvent Department of Justice policies. And Attorney General Loretta Lynch should have made the call regarding Clinton getting indicted. It should never have been James Comey stating that Hillary Clinton, there's violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, yet we're not going to. No reasonable prosecutor would indict. See, it was not James Comey's call to make that call. Also, James Comey lied under oath numerous times. He stated that he didn't write the exoneration letter until all the witnesses were interviewed. We know that 17 witnesses, including Clinton, were never interviewed before he wrote his exoneration. We also know that it was not a unanimous decision. James Baker, who testified to Congress, stated that he thought, James Baker, who's under criminal investigation along with Andrew Mccabe, we'll get to him in a second, who's under criminal investigation, he stated that he thought that Hillary Clinton should have been indicted. It was an obvious cover-up. The mere act of transferring top secret intelligence outside of the United States government is clear intent. Special access program intelligence outside of the United States government. Clear intent. Okay? So you cannot, I'll repeat, you cannot transfer top secret intelligence outside of the United States government. Here's the quote from Comey. This is why he got fired. Okay? It wasn't because of obstruction of justice regarding a criminal probe that should never have been started, which was a bureaucratic coup to remove a duly elected president based on quote-unquote evidence purchased by Hillary Clinton. Okay? But this is what and I mean, if you're a veteran, if you're a active duty soldier, a veteran, person who's had a security clearance, what does this mean to you? For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program level when they were sent and received. What? How did she get this information? That's the question. How was she able to transfer this top secret intelligence? That's the question. These chains involved Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails from others about the same matters. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those government employees with whom she was corresponding about these matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation. Okay. And then Comey goes on to say, although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. No, every reasonable prosecutor would bring the case. A Democratic prosecutor might not. A Republican prosecutor absolutely would. And a prosecutor who was apolitical would definitely. because there's evidence of the violations. That's the point. And Brian Pagliano was never interviewed in front of a grand jury. You cannot say that she didn't intentionally transfer top secret intelligence. By the way, to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Eric H526, hello. Elizabeth Luker, hello. And we have another birthday. Happy birthday, Liam. Let's see, there's another birthday. Happy birthday. So isn't this, I'm like tearing my non-existent hair out, trying to find out how James Comey rationalizes how Clinton didn't intentionally do something that was impossible to achieve. But I'll read you. Fox News, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein expected to step down by mid-March, officials say. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein is expected to leave his role at the Justice Department by mid-March. An official announcement of who has been selected to replace Rosenstein could come as early as this week. And now Matthew Whitaker is still there. Could you imagine if Matthew Whitaker becomes the Deputy Attorney General? Why not? But it'll be somebody beholden to William Barr, who has already written that Uranium One is worthy of investigation, far more worthy than any ridiculous Anon PBOB. Yes. You saw that segment. Yes. My first Second Amendment segment with my 50 caliber Smith & Wesson 50 caliber. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for watching HA Second Amendment. By the way, wonderful segment with a grease gun, World War II era. And so we have Matthew Whitaker still there. We have finally justice that isn't trying to remove a duly elected president. Now, this is what I don't understand. You know, this precedent also would hurt Democrats. Let's say you have a Democratic challenger in 2024 that isn't as horrible as everyone else now. Then you just say, oh my God, you pick a country, you buy a dossier, you say that country security service was, was really suspicious. That country, an ally's security service said that, we have evidence of something, or there's contacts, and then you just create an investigation and then just indict people on process crimes. And then if the media switches from liberal to a little bit more conservative, you have the media. Wouldn't work out well for Democrats. But see, Democrats don't think of the repercussions of their actions. They need to stop Trump any way possible, no matter how many crimes they commit. So you have Andrew Mccabe, who lied 3 times under oath. He's under criminal investigation. There's a grand jury. And by the way, he lied with intent. That's what the IG report says. That's what you need to be indicted for perjury. Intentionally lie. 3 times under oath, by the way. 3 times under oath. Let's say it again, everyone. 3 times under oath. This is Andrew McCabe. Now you have James Baker, who's also under criminal investigation, who literally said during testimony that he thought Hillary Clinton should have been indicted, and that James Comey talked him out of it. James Comey lied under oath when he said it was all unanimous, because James Baker thought that she should be indicted. It was not unanimous at all. It's nothing is ever unanimous. You could put 10 people in a room. It'll about something like contentious. It's almost impossible for you to get 10 or 20 people in a room and have a unanimous decision. Just the other day, I'm debating my friends, my buddies. Somebody said LeBron's the greatest of all time. No way, Jordan. It's not even a question in my mind. Not even a question in my mind. We'll say, oh, LeBron's better. And then another person sided with me. Then another person sided with another friend. And so it's like, you can have 10 basketball fans, 10 sports fans, who's the greatest, one of the greatest football players of all time, whatever. You'll never get a consensus that is 100%. Chad Davis. No reason no prosecutor bring charges against HA for being so cute. Oklahoma loves HA. Iraq vets love HA. Bring them home. Yes, Chad Davis. I love Iraq vets, and I love Oklahoma. And who was I watching the other day? Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State. Barry Sanders, one of the greats of all time. He went to Oklahoma State, yes. And so did Thurman Thomas. And I'm sure you know this, Chad Davis. Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders were in the same backfield at Oklahoma State. Press 1 if you knew that. If you're watching this channel, 250, press 1 if you knew that Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas were in the same backfield at Oklahoma State. Press 1. Press 1 if you knew that. Yes. Thank you, Fishman. Fishman, thank you. Yep, chat. Fishman, thank you for your support on this channel. Thank you. I'm trying to read what you wrote. Thank you. So, Chad Davis, thank you. Fishman, thank you. So, I'll read this. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein is expected to leave his role at the Justice Department. Mccabe said Rosesnstein wanted to put a wire on tape Trump. Your hair is looking wonderful today, Mr. President. Can you speak in here? It's a fantastic shade of orange. Can you speak in here? Who won the World Series in 1978, Mr. President? You don't know? 25th Amendment. Sorry. 25th Amendment. So they're trying to get him. They're trying to get him on. They're trying to say that, well, he actually. That's right. MK. They're trying to say that Mccabe is trying to say that Rosenstein wanted the 25th Amendment. Wanted to use the 25th Amendment to remove Trump. Rosenstein denies that. Says that Mccabe is not telling the truth. Mccabe says that Comey allowed him to leak information to the Wall Street Journal. Comey says no. Comey says no. So you have conflicting stories. Who's telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen? Who's telling the truth? There were Clinton Foundation probes ongoing, and you had Mccabe, who ensured that nothing ever happened. And you had James Comey, who ensured that nothing ever happened. M. Harrison 35, thank you for your support of this channel. M. Harrison 35, thank you. Thank you, M. Harrison 35. Thank you so very, very much. You had Andrew McCabe doing everything possible to sweep every Clinton Foundation probe, all of them, under the rug. And the only reason the IG report stated that McCabe told the Wall Street Journal was for self-serving purposes, because his wife took about $600 to $700 from Terry McAuliffe, let's put it this way. Terry McAuliffe on the slime chart is probably a scale of slime, probably slimier than even Comey. And that's pretty slimy. Clinton will eventually get indicted because she's a criminal. She committed crimes. Trump did not. No evidence. What Trump needs to do is purchase a Steele dossier that says Clinton did a bunch of crazy things, and then they could start an investigation again into Clinton because of a dossier he purchased. Okay, Gory Studios super chat. I missed. I did. Hold on. Oh, Gory Studios. Salute, bro. Shout out to Sasha Banks and Bailey, our new WWE Women's Tag Team Champs. Awesome. Gory Studios. Thank you. I apologize. I didn't see your super chat. Gory Studios. Thank you. WW for me when I was growing up, WWF, I loved Roddy Piper, Macho Man and Roddy Piper were my two favorites. Hulk Hogan, and then Jake the Snake Roberts. Love Jake the Snake Roberts. Lot of wrestlers I grew up with. The British Bulldogs. Who remembers the British Bulldogs? Press 1 if you remember the British. Goripi Studios, of course you do. But the British Bulldogs, obviously Andre the Giant. Bret the Hitman Hart, yep, he was amazing. And I just love Roddy Piper and Macho Man, Randy Savage. Love them. I have to say that Jake the Snake had one of the best personas. Jake the Snake Roberts was awesome. Ultimate Warrior was awesome. Hulk Hogan was awesome. Mark Skog, Road Warriors, bro. Mark Skog, the Road Warriors a little bit after. I think they were a little bit after Undertaker, Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's a lot. I remember watching WrestleMania 3. I was very young. WrestleMania 3 was awesome. That's right, Mr. Perfect. That's right. But you have a situation where it's all unraveling. All of this is like a den of vipers, and they're all going after each other. Madge Mack, who remembers the Blue Avenger? R.I.P. Dad. The Blue Avenger. The Blue Avenger. Let's see, you know what? I think I do. Madge Mack. Thank you, Madge Mack. Thank you. Yeah, wrestling is awesome. I remember I used to love it growing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, M. Harrison 35, thank you. Thank you again. Speculation of Rosesnstein departure mounted after the firing of former Attorney General Jeff Sessions in November. Says the firing. He has until recently overseen special counsel by Mueller. You found nothing because there was nothing, because it was a phony investigation by Mueller. 2 years of Mueller, and they found absolutely nothing, because what they did was fabricate. There's zero evidence, and the notion is absurd that Trump would work with Russia to hack the DNC to inform everyone that Bernie Sanders was cheated. It's an absurd notion. It's an absolutely absurd notion. It was never feasible or realistic. Krillin 876. Piper's Pit. Yeah. Krillin, it's true. That's true. Well, I mean, in the 80s, 70s and 80s, yeah. Absolutely. Krillin 876. That's true. Iron Sheik was awesome. Diamond Dallas Page is awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great wrestlers. But you have Rosenstein out. You have the Mueller probe ending. George Rivera Jr. Rod Rowe, if his new job choice is luchador, what would he call himself? Luchador. How about El Burro? Something. I don't even know. El Burro of something. I don't know. Where's the luchador? There's a website, luchador names. Luchador name generator. Oh, yes. Hold on. Rosenstein. It didn't generate anything. Hold on. Amigo estúpido. Yes. Yes. This is actually a great. That's so awesome. Rosenberg. George Rivera Jr., thank you. I mean, at this point right now, they're all wrestlers. They're all like, I mean, I don't even want to insult wrestlers now. That is more pure and wonderful than with the nasty things going on here. So Rod Rosenstein is out the door. And now he's basically forced to testify because McCabe spilled the beans, and McCabe knows he's going to get indicted soon. McCabe will get indicted because that is the beginning. That's the beginning of all of this. McCabe lied 3 times under oath. The IG, Michael Horowitz of the IG, he did everything possible, every single thing possible, not to implicate anyone. And guess what? He was like, yeah, Andrew McCabe, he committed crimes. Rosenstein is out the door. This is so awesome. And you have the last remnants of a bureaucratic coup. What they tried to do is hide behind, we were so worried about his contacts with Russia, but 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, not a problem. Uranium to Putin? No problem at all. Facebook ads are the problem. Facebook ads, bad. Uranium, good. Twitter, bad. Uranium, 20% of U.S. Mines in Utah, good. Bill Clinton meeting with Vladimir Putin, good. So, I mean, only Democrats would be like, Putin is a danger to the world. Let's sell him 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. And let's be tough on him for election interference. Well, what was the interference? He hacked the DNC. Well, to do what? To inform the country of something. What was he informing the country of? That Democrats cheated Bernie Sanders. Oh, so we should thank him if he did. If he let us know that would be great. No. It's a private organization and they could do what they want. So why are they asking the government to help them? Because do you want a foreign power influencing your elections? You sold that foreign power 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. It was an above-board sale. What about the yellow uranium that was shipped out of the country? What about the uranium that was shipped out of the country? Why would you give someone so dangerous even more uranium to produce weapons that are the most dangerous humanity has ever created? Oh, they already have uranium. Yeah, why would you give them more if he's so dangerous? That makes no sense. Keith, thank you. That makes no sense. And then to Canada, of course, shipped out back to Moscow. Putin, in terms of chess, is like a master of chess compared to Democrats. 8 years of Obama, like, what? We destroyed Libya. Isn't that good enough? It's like, no. Obama's foreign policy was a failure after failure. Then you have Trump, who's bringing home Americans, who's presiding over peace between North and South Korea, much better economy. Thank God we have Trump. Thank the good Lord. Thank God. To my Canadians watching, press 1 if you think Trudeau is awesome. Press 2 if you wish you had anyone on the planet aside from Trudeau. Press 1 if you like Trudeau. Press 2 if you don't like Trudeau. Press 1 if you're in Canada and you like Trudeau. Press 2 if you don't like Trudeau. 2 3 duh. That's right. Trudeau's. So yeah. Did you see that boxing? There's the boxing match with him. I saw it. It was kind of surreal. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein stepping down. And guess what? He's going to testify. He's going to testify. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. How the wicked, they weave such a web of deceit. At the end of the day, could you imagine if Trump, like when Trump wins again, and he will, could you imagine? It'll be 2 years. 2 years of unraveling, of people getting indicted, because McCabe's going to get indicted. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when. He committed crimes. Even Horowitz said he committed crimes. And the interesting thing is that once Rosenstein leaves, you have the Mueller probe that's ending. The House of Representatives, unfortunately, is a chamber of Congress that is just they're kind of they have no power in terms of investigations. The Senate is a lot more prestigious or influential. Republicans in the House, they gathered a great deal of information, but they weren't really able to intimidate anyone. Just same thing, like Whitaker goes to the House and he was like clowning everyone. The House of Representatives, Democrats were like, we're going to investigate this. You know what? Good luck. Good luck. The Republicans really couldn't make too much headway, even with all the information they had of criminal activity. So good luck. Mark Skog, I trust Trudeau 1024. That's awesome. So, like Mueller, once the Mueller probe, he goes to Office Depot, he buys the nice little glossy covers. Once he does that, it's done. They found nothing. They can pass the baton. There is not a person in America outside Twitter, because Twitter is like an echo chamber of maniacs that, thank God, I'm not on Twitter anymore. There's one guy who's hilarious, who's on Twitter, is pretending to be me. Like, nobody retweets him. Every so often, somebody thinks that it's me, but I am not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Minds. I'm not on anything. I'm only on YouTube and I have my BitChute account. But Twitter is the only platform. Like, Twitter is the Democratic Party. If you remove Twitter from the equation, what do Democrats have? Their Green New Deal, and in my article in the Federalist, please share it everywhere. Okay, their Green New Deal relies on the mining of cobalt and the mining of lithium, which would decimate communities around the world, especially in the Congo. Most of the world's cobalt is found in the Congo. How the Green New Deal would exploit poverty-stricken people across the globe. Please share my Federalist article everywhere. And it's like, thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. So everyone laughed at that. That was like supposed to be like, you're supposed to aspire. Like, Democrats cheat. They blame Russia with no evidence. They try to engage in bureaucratic, essentially bureaucratic coup d'etats, and nobody they're like the biggest hypocrites. And then they engage in fabricated, phony claims left and right. And then after the Green New Deal, which was eviscerated by everyone, which wouldn't even help the indigenous communities that AOC claims to respect, which actually would decimate them around the world. And I explained that in my Federalist article. Then you have AOC ensuring that 25,000, no, 40,000, no, 107,000 direct and indirect jobs. Amazon wasn't going to stay at 25,000. They only would have gotten the $3 billion tax break if it went up to 40,000. They had to meet 25 and then go above 25 a bit, thousand. And they were building an 8 million square foot, an 8 million square foot headquarters. Say that slowly, an 8 million square foot headquarters. The Green New Deal is a resolution that Democrats don't even want to vote on. I'm 100% right. Legislation? Where's the Green New Deal legislation that you can vote on? They were petrified when Mitch McConnell said, let's vote on it. Because they're like, oh my God, no, you're trying to troll. It's like, no, we're not trolling. There's no legislation. There's no Green New Deal legislation that you can vote on and pass and implement. There's no Medicare for all. There's no $15 minimum wage. There's no abolish ICE. There's only vote for $1.3 billion for an actual wall. No, I said the legislation would never take place. I never said mentioned. I was talking about legislation numerous times. Watch my crosstalk. I was on crosstalk saying it. But she comes up with this thing. Well, you know what? Amazon didn't pay taxes. They paid like 100, 200 million, something like that. And like, oh, well, zero taxes. Okay, but what about the 25,000 people? What about the 40,000 people eventually? What about the people, the 100,000, 107,000 direct and indirect jobs? 107,000 people would pay city, state, and federal tax, like we all do. And there's no wealth generation in that area. $150,000 a year jobs in an area that is median income $50,000 a year, $56,000. So after the Green New Deal, AOC followed it up with an economic catastrophe. So Amazon's like, yeah, I'll just go. And Amazon's not changing not one practice because AOC thinks it's a victory. It's like, you've done nothing. The system is laughing. And if anything, it like ensures between Smollett and AOC, they should run together and ensure Trump, like not only Trump 2020, but like every Republican for the next like 30 years. I mean, this is like hilarious. It's like Trump's like dream. And it's like, it's like they don't even, I mean, Bernie Sanders now is like completely expendable to Democrats. They just used and they cheated and they have Bernie Sanders light. And it's like, is he going to run? And then, look, it doesn't matter if Bernie runs. I'm still voting for Trump, 100%. Bernie Sanders was pumping the Trump Russia myth. He didn't do anything in terms of explaining that he was cheated by Hillary, not by Putin. If you can't even stand up to the Democratic Party, how are you going to stand up to the system? And I can't wait until, like, honestly, God bless you. If you're voting for Bernie, if you're backing Bernie, God bless you, because you're going to experience so much hate from Democrats. There are people who, and then they're going to call Bernie a misogynist and sexist and everything else under the sun. And he's going to then funnel all his voters back into the Democratic Party like he did. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to go in like perhaps a minute. She got more delegates because she cheated. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to step down and resign. 4 other officials were forced to resign. Putin hacked the DNC to let us know all of this. Putin didn't hack the DNC to let us know that Hillary got more delegates, which he never hacked the DNC. That's absurd. That whole thing for 2 years has been nonsense. Bernie Sanders presidential speculation grows ahead of interview. Well, this is going to be interesting. Now, you're going to have Bernie. You'll have Kamala Harris. You'll have Elizabeth Warren. You'll have Joe Biden. That's going to be interesting. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing all over again. They really can't stand Bernie Sanders. And it has nothing to do with Russia. It has nothing. They pretend they want Medicare for all. They pretend they want all of these things. And they deceive people. And it's always the same pundits. It's always the same people. And of course, if it was Republicans who lost their lives, oh my God, it would be Putin. It would be a connect the dots. Trump did this with Putin and someone lost their life. And oh my God, with Mueller probe. But you know what? If it's a Democrat, forget about it. Don't even bring it up. If it's emails that showed Trump was cheating somebody, thank God. Oh my God. Everything connect the dots with Trump. But with Hillary or Democrats, never connect the dots. Never connect the dots. Never connect any dots with Democrats because they're the party of logic and reason. That's why they cheat and blame Russia without any evidence. Then they purchased the Steele dossier without any evidence. Yes, the Democratic National Committee was hacked by Putin. Not. In an attempt to let everyone know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. That's what took place. How do we know? Well, because CrowdStrike, a corporation that was outsourced by Democrats told us. Why? Because the DNC servers were never given to the United States government. Why? Because the DNC obviously is hiding a bunch of treacherous things. So, 2 years of nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years of nonsense. 2 years of nonsense that we had to live through. All because Democrats lost and they had a meltdown of biblical proportions. Now all their lies are going to be unraveled. Now all their lies are going to be unraveled. And Rod Rosenstein is now in trouble. Obviously, Andrew Mccabe is facing criminal charges. James Baker is facing criminal charges. You have all of these agents who are going to face criminal charges because they engaged in fraud and a conspiracy. They're going down, obviously. So it's like Trump is constantly on Twitter calling out McCabe, calling out everyone. He's even calling out Jeff Sessions still. Called him another beauty, which is hilarious. And I mean, look, William Barr has to. This is not a matter of, oh, well, it's a matter of the only way there'll be trust earned is if people pay is if people are indicted because they committed crimes. Crimes related to Clinton, crimes related to a criminal cover-up, a criminally fabricated investigation into nothing. Into nothing. You can't have a Justice Department. You can't have a Justice Department that works for Clinton. You can't have a Justice Department that works for Clinton. And that's not actually going to happen anymore. Because the last remnants of, you have no more you have no more DOJ that, well, you know where I'm coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. It's a little late, and I will let you go. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. God bless, and thank you so very, very much. Watch this channel this week. This week's going to be awesome. Thank you.